A Facebook post quickly spreading online claims a top Pfizer researcher is raising concerns about a potential COVID-19 vaccine. Bob Segal with our Verified team looked into the claim that the vaccine could impact fertility.
Yes, this is the question that's been flooding our Verify inbox. Does the COVID-19 vaccine cause sterilization in women? And this is why so many people have been asking that question. It's a Facebook post that's widely circulating right now, claiming a head researcher for vaccine manufacturer Pfizer is warning that the company's new COVID vaccine would cause sterilization in women. Here's what we know about that social media post. Michael Yaden did work for Pfizer until 2011 in the company's Allergy and Respiratory Research Unit. That's according to the British doctor's LinkedIn profile. And Yaden, along with a German doctor, did send a letter to the European Medicines Agency asking the EMA to stop clinical trials of Pfizer's COVID-19 vaccine. They said the vaccine might block a protein that's important in the formation of a placenta. And the doctors claim that could possibly result in vaccinated women essentially becoming infertile. While the social media post implies the vaccine will cause infertility, that's not what the doctors actually said. Their petition raises questions, using phrases like, if the vaccine works a certain way, it could lead to infertility. Is that a real possibility? Well, 13 News reached out directly to Pfizer for answers. The company's response? Not exactly helpful, simply stating, we are not commenting on that. Last month, in a press release, Pfizer did say its COVID-19 vaccine studies have so far not reported any serious safety concerns. Safety regulators in Europe just completed their safety review and they approved the vaccine. We also want to point out the social media site that circulated the doctor's claims about infertility. It's a blog called Health and Money News. And the news on that site, it's full of conspiracy theories about COVID-19, like the coronavirus is not real and wearing masks causes irreversible brain damage. And the two doctors raising concerns about the Pfizer vaccine, both of them have a history of peddling false information about COVID. Dr. Yaden claimed 3 months ago that the pandemic is effectively over, which it's not. And earlier this year, Dr. Wodarg posted a video claiming the virus is no more harmful than the seasonal flu, which is also untrue. So, does Pfizer's COVID-19 vaccine cause sterilization in women? We can verify, so far there is no evidence, no study, and no reports to support that claim. At the same time, it is fair to point out the vaccine is so new, there are no long-term studies to show the long-term impact on fertility. And of course, Pfizer is not commenting on that.
Well, our Verified team is dedicated to fighting misinformation about COVID-19 vaccinations. If you see something you'd like us to look into, to Verify, send us an email.